Welcome, everyone. It's our Testimonial Tuesday call. And remember, we don't make any claims or medical claims or any cures. We don't treat, mitigate, cure any disease. But what we can do is share our own personal stories and those that are on our amazing product line. And we know that the body is a miracle body and can do some amazing things when you give it the right tools. And that's food and that's nutrition, or using gene modulation through nutrigenomics. And so I'm going to kick off the call with my very dear friend, one of our bestie business partners. She is an MC1 in our company now. She's been with LifeVantage over 10 years, right? Julia, I believe. And actually, what, 11 years maybe? And so Julia Mills is from South Carolina, and she has an amazing story. She used to be a drug rep or a pharmaceutical rep years ago, and she was actually introduced to LifeVantage twice, but luckily she was able to join our team, and she has just some incredible stories that she would like to share. Well, first of all, an incredible breakthrough story that just happened this summer involving a university that she's going to share with us, and Protandim, our flagship product. So Julia, if are you there? Can you join us?
I'm here. Thanks, Marilyn. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm so excited to share this story because, you know, this company and this product changed my life. And I've got so many stories I can share, but the one that I'm going to share today has to do with PubMed.gov and our research. So being a pharmaceutical rep and pre-med major in college, science and biology were my favorite subjects. And I just love to learn and read about the human body and biology, and then nutrigenomics as that came along. But how this story unfolds is that when I was in the pharmaceutical industry, I called on many types of physicians, and one was a doctor who was a neurologist. And she was so excited to share with me about Protandim and the NRF2 pathway. And she was so excited about it because she had heard from Denise Reck, who was a nurse and worked with this doctor for many, many years, had told her about a natural way to activate the NRF2 pathway. This was super exciting for this doctor because she had been learning about this NRF2 pathway from a drug that was for multiple sclerosis called Tecfidera. So she had been learning about this new drug that works on the same pathway to treat MS. Very expensive drug. It's over $50,000 a year. And so when Denise had shared with her that this all natural 5 herbs synergistically combined, developed by a PhD at Duke, also worked on the NRF2 pathway, pulled a study out for her to look at to show that Protandim was more efficacious than this drug, and obviously much less expensive, more like $500 a year with no side effects. So she was really immediately jumped into sharing Protandim as an option with her patients. So she shared this with me, and immediately I wanted to start taking it for my health when I looked at the genomic studies and everyone that I knew. And I thought I was pretty much healthy myself. I'd never taken supplements before. I had my own personal benefits, health benefits with this product, which I didn't even kind of think I was going to have. So I can share those on another time, but I kind of want to get to the study that came about last summer. Really started again about 6 years ago. So this doctor, who was a neurologist, also shared with me that Protandim had very significant life-changing effects, life-extending effects for some people with ALS. And I thought, oh my gosh. So I learned about that. I don't know if you know anyone who's had ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, but it's extremely devastating. So to hear that this product helped people stay alive longer and healthier and are still alive today was remarkable. At that same time, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was this ALS bucket challenge that was happening. So I just, I just share, right? I feel like when we have information that's valuable and could help someone else, I wanted to share it. So I called the ALS Foundation in Raleigh, where I lived at the time. And the person I talked to said, well, you should really talk to Dr. Richard Bedlack at Duke. He runs the Duke ALS research, and he also is involved with international group where he's looking for alternative medications for patients with ALS. So I got a hold of him and connected him to Dr. McCord, who developed Protandim. We just had a call. Our chief science officer at the time and a couple other doctors. And so he learned a little bit about it. And at that time, he did a paper, a published paper on Protandim. So if you do go, as Marilyn has up here, thank you, Marilyn, so much for pulling this up. So this is where doctors and, people involved in healthcare go to look at actual research. He published the first initial paper on ALS and Protandim, and it's on PubMed.gov. So when you go to PubMed.gov, you type in Protandim in the search bar, and you will see all of the studies that have been done on our product, not just the ingredients, but actually the product, which is extremely rare for universities like Duke and others, as you can see at the bottom, to actually fund these studies. So he did this initial paper. At that time, he was working with another doctor up in Temple, and he said, I really hope and that I can get a grant to study this product more. It took him about 6 years, and he got a grant. Not sure if it's through the NIH or where it's through. I mean, I do have the protocol. So he reached out to me this summer and he said, Julia, I've gotten approval. I'm going to be actually funding a study on Protandim and ALS, an actual clinical, study protocol. So it took a couple months, but we were able to provide him with the product. He purchased about 120 bottles of Protandim to get this study started. He's looking at 50 patients, and it's going to be, I believe, a 6-month study. So again, what this just says to me as a former pharmaceutical rep, there's nothing like this out there. Mostly pharmaceutical companies will fund their own studies on their drugs, but to have independent research on disease states, so many different disease states, and for them to fund money or their own money, right, to study the product is pretty much unheard of. So a lot of people don't know that if they're not in the industry. So we're excited for these patients. I mean, that's what I love about working with Dr. Bedlack is he's has won so many awards as just a top caring doctor. And for him to not only work at Duke and research, but also internationally trying to provide any types of alternative medications for his patients. He's just thrilled to be able to provide this to them. And he really believes it's going to help his patients very, very much. So we'll keep you tuned in to how the study goes. But any questions?
That is powerful, isn't it? Wow. And just goes to show the caliber of what we have our hands on with this product line. And so he actually reached out to you after all these years while he's working to get the funding, and then finally approached Julia this summer. And he did do the purchase of the Protandim, and he will be starting the study soon, hopefully. So yes, kudos to you for reaching out and sharing the information, because this is all we do is we have this amazing information, and if we don't share it with anybody, look at the people that will be receive the blessing,
Exactly.
hopefully, from having this initial study and how it it moves forward. So
And
way to
Marilyn,
go.
for sure, it's such a domino effect. Denise shared it with this doctor. This doctor happened to share it with me. I happened to share it with, right, BLS and then to Dr. Bedlack. I mean, that's all we do. And like you said, it just turns into blessings. So we're just really fortunate.
Yes,
Thank you.
it's ripple effect. And yes, we just don't know. And that's why, you know, we're so compelled to share this information with people. And we can be that little cog in the wheel that, you know, moves this information forward. And what